And welcome back to Woo Woo Wednesday, where I share my intuitive insight and weekly wisdom with you through the use of oracle cards. I'm Brit Carmichael, the founder of Shine School, an empowerment coach, luxury retreat host, and speaker. And I'm here to help you tap into your intuition so that you can follow your passion and purpose. I'm so thrilled to be with you first Woo Woo Wednesday of 2024. And tomorrow on 1/11, we have a new moon in Capricorn. And this new moon is all about setting a firm foundation while honoring the past, yet seeing the vision for the future. So you're going to feel a sense of rebirth. You're going to feel a sense of release as well as we're moving away from the retrogrades and changing this chapter. There has to be this transition period. That's why I created Shift last year, how to navigate that unknown space with ease and confidence, because we know that we are leaving behind the old. We want to step into the new, but sometimes we can create a little self-sabotaging cycle in that in-between. We get impatient, we start doubting, second guessing. And so I created a 5-step framework to navigate the shift. And that's what this year is going to be about. So I'm going to pull some cards to really set the tone for what can we expect this new moon, this new energy, and this new year. I can tell you when I look at astrology, it's shifts on top of shifts on top of shifts. And I'm sure you can feel that energy changing. So I'm just going to take a moment to say hello to everyone tuning in live. I am just so stoked to be here live. It feels so good. Let me pull up the comments. Let me say hi to everyone. Vic's in the house. Gilly, what's up? Hey, April, beautiful soul. Good afternoon. Let me know where you are watching from. I use my release oil today. I love it. You know, new moons are about planting the seeds. And when we plant seeds in Capricorn season, it usually has the effects of longevity, right? So the seeds that you plant tomorrow, literally, I want you, this is what we're going to do here in the Carmichael household. I've dumped out all the old pots, and some of them had like bugs and it was just gross. They had to go. So now we have all these empty pots. So although it's a little early for, spring planting outside, we're going to start sowing those seeds inside so that by the time spring gets here, we've already started. Our dreams are rooted and ready to rise. So I encourage you, plant some seeds of intention, metaphorically, symbolically, and like for real, like physically. So if you don't have the seeds, then you can do this with your intention. And I want you to really get clear about what you want to feel, what you want to experience. And most importantly, what I'm hearing in the CEO world is, how are you going to protect your time? This is the biggest conversation that I'm hearing amongst my CEO boss babe friends. They're saying, we've done all the things. I'd rather make less money and have more time. And Chris has said that to me over and over again. He's so wise. He's like, babe, remember when you just worked in the salon and we had like 4 days off and we lived just fine? Like we didn't need it or have anything else. It was great. Yeah, that's nice. So this year I think is about setting the tone and getting back to what does simple success look like for you. And I think that word simplify is really what sets the tone. That's where my head's at is, okay, we can do all these things, but what really brings us the most joy? What moves the needle forward? So really be thinking about that this year. Okay. Hello, Cap New Moon, intention setting. Yeah, what's up? It's going to be fun. So I'm going to grab the Shine from the Inside Oracle and we're going to pull some cards to see what comes up on this Capricorn new moon. Okay, they're already flying out at me. You got to love when that happens. So let me know what has been up for you this year. How have you been feeling? As always, I love for us to tune in. So take a deep breath, fill up those lungs, and really think about, what am I letting go of? There's that ins and outs, the ins of 2024 and the outs of 2023. I want you to think about, what are you letting go of right now so that we can make room to plant these new seeds for 2024. So tune in, take a deep breath, check yourself before you wreck yourself in a new year. So how are you feeling? How is this year off? Like, what is the start? What is the energy? Are you feeling like slow start, feeling motivated, feeling fiery and ready? Yesterday, we had a live masterclass inside the Elevated Life Club. We are celebrating 7 years and we talked all about vision mapping in this masterclass. And I was so lit up. I was so on fire. I was unstoppable yesterday. I was like, Chris, are you even teaching in this class? Because I'm just like fire. I wasn't even like, oh, you talk, I'm tired. No, I was so stoked. And I feel like that's my tone that I'm bringing into 2024. 2023, it's a lot of changes, release, unexpected loss. And so 2024, we're letting all that go and focusing on being an open channel and getting back to the passion and fiery joy that, has been the reason, my why behind all of this, all of creating and sharing and coming online with you guys. It has been stressful, scary, emotional, depressed. Okay, tune into that. Why? What's going on? Where are your thoughts? Are you lacking a little bit of trust or faith in yourself? Are you focusing on the worries and the doubts, which if it's been stressful and scary and emotional and depressed, it sounds like maybe you have. So can you challenge yourself to shift your perspective and find what is working? I'm feeling really capable. I love that. So tune in. Well, what makes me feel so capable? What strengths can I lean on? What foundation can I stand firm on? Capricorn season. Hello, we're standing firm. Give yourself permission to celebrate and be proud of who you are and how far you've come. I think that's absolutely most important this year, is to honor and celebrate ourselves. And when we do that, we respect our boundaries, we respect our balance, and we don't find ourselves in burnout because we're on our own team. We're not fighting against what we intuitively know we already need. Okay, too many changes that were not positive for me. My husband moved out. Well, if he moved out, it sounds like it's probably the best thing that could have happened. Although unexpected loss, like I said, usually leads to freedom on the other side, and freedom of change that you might not have initiated, even though you clearly were asking for it on a deep soul level. Okay, so we won't dive into that, but I am going to shuffle with the intention that we all receive the message we need most during this new moon in Capricorn. And I want to share while I'm shuffling 111. Not only is it a powerful day of angel numbers 111, it also happens to be my biological father's birthday. And he was the first person that I was aware of that started speaking to me from the other side when he passed in 2008. Now, it wasn't until 2012 that I finally found myself in a sensory deprivation float tank. And that's when I started hearing him talk, because when you relax your mind and body, you open up those higher brainwave states so that you can access intuition and divine information and your clear audience, clairvoyance, all of that. So while I was in the tank, I heard my biological father say to me, "Hey, baby girl, I had to pass in this world so that I could guide you from the spiritual world." I was like, what the hell did he just say to me? Like, what? I came out, and the owner of the place, he said, "How was it?" I said, "Well, I just talked to my dad and he's dead." And he just kind of like nodded at me. He said, "Yeah, a lot of psychics come here and they use these tanks to relax and open up their mind so that they can access those higher frequencies of getting out of beta brainwave state and moving into alpha and beyond, so that you can tap in easily. It's like turning a dial and just plugging into the right radio station. It's fuzzy. It doesn't make sense until you like click in on like 106.1. If you're in the DFW area, that's a Kiss FM. But if you're at 106.2, it's going to be like, you can like kind of hear the intuition, but you're like, fear's in the way. Can't really tell. So that was the first time where the channel was so open and so loud and clear. And I knew that voice from my childhood. Although he didn't raise me, it was like, what just happened to me? And that's what ultimately sparked my journey as a psychic and a spiritual teacher and coach, because I went on this crazy inward self-discovery journey of like, we have this beautiful power and gift that we can connect to the other side if we would just learn how to use our mind. And so I share that because every year on his birthday, I always go play around a pool. He was a champion pool player in Vegas, and we like to do that. And one time on his birthday, I always say, "Show me a clear and obvious sign." And a couple of years ago, I had asked him that. And when we got to the pool hall, just above the table that we had played at, there was a big balloon that was like stuck on the ceiling that said "Happy Birthday." So I knew for sure that was my dad showing me a birthday nod and just like, thanks for playing pool in my honor. So it's really cool when these moments come up around like Father's Day or Dia de los Muertos or his birthday. I usually read the letters that he wrote me from jail. That's how I get to know him, through that, what my mom remembers post-stroke, and the conversation and connection we have built in the afterlife. So it's a really interesting story and journey, and it's why I'm able to help connect you with your past loved ones and your soul. 2 cards came up when I said that, so that's fun. I'm just going to look for one more for this new moon in Capricorn. Oh my goodness. Let's see the last card. What do we need to know? New energy, new seeds, 2024. Let's fucking go. We're just going to skip those this week. What we need is not in that pile, okay? We're letting go of what we don't need so we can focus on what we do. All right, there we go. So many cards on the ground. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to just check in before I read these cards for you. I'm at risk of losing where I live. Okay, got it. Lots of big changes. I totally understand. So here's the thing. All of these changes, whether they're unexpected or uninvited, are a gift for you to see the bigger picture. What if you're negative thinking, or what if the rug being ripped out from under you, or your partner cheating on you, or leaving you, or whatever the story is? What if all of those were blessings? If everything is rooted in love, can you change your perspective to see and ask this question? This is how I get through the bullshit. If you want to know my real, this is how I do it. I ask the question, what good can come from this? Instead of creating all these stories and mental projections of why it's so bad and victim me and oh God, it's going to be so hard. Okay, this is fucked. What good can come from this? And that's it. I leave it there. I don't have to figure out the answer right then. If it pops up and I immediately get the oh, well, because of this, you're going to do this, then I'm good with that. But if I don't get it, I give myself a break and just take a step back from that moment. Okay, absolutely. Let's see. Whew, okay, gonna dive in. Love it. Just checking up with everyone's comments. Hey, Linz, it's good to see you. Ashley's in the house. All right, you guys ready for this? The first one, nourish your body with high vibing energy. What a great card. This is a reminder that you are what you eat. So if you want high vibing energy, if you want health and wellness and vitality and sparkle, then it starts from how you're thinking, feeling, fueling, and treating yourself on a physical, mental, and emotional level. But when this card comes up, it makes me really think about what are we consuming in our physical food? What are we consuming in our social media environment? And what are we consuming in the mental thoughts and stories that we play in our mind? Of course, when you see nourish your body with high vibing energy, you're like, okay, pineapple, freaking green juice, let's eat some more cucumbers and make some homemade hummus. Yes, please. If you've been thinking about making health changes, switching to a more organic, plant-based, some type of positive impact in your habits, this is the time to go for it. Because again, the seeds that we plant in Capricorn season really have a nourishing, sustaining effect over time. So if you want to make a health change, now is the time to really get clear on, I'm ready to make those changes. And for me, I've committed to my yoga mat. I've committed to the knees over toes workout because both my mom and my grandmother have had knee replacements. And so I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking about that longevity. What could I do now that will benefit me in the future? So instead of trying to I want to have a six pack for pretty pictures, that was me when I was a teenager. Now me in my almost 40s are thinking about the longevity of those knees, because we use them all the time. They're a freaking fulcrum of moving your body. It's important. So nourish your body with high vibing energy isn't just about what you're eating. It's also about what you're thinking and feeling and how you're treating yourself. So commit to that healthy habit. I want to know, what is that? Drop that in the chat below so we can support you, be accountability buddies, and really get clear on how can we benefit our health and longevity. All right, so what's the healthy habit you're going to change? I was just teaching on a call earlier today, and they had asked me how do you get started? And I said, well, I have to think back to what was the very first start that I made. Well, the thing I struggled with the most in my health was that I was addicted to soda. Even though it was diet soda, I was drinking 2 liters a day. It was insane. So for me, I knew that was the one habit I needed to cut. I didn't think about losing 100 pounds. I didn't think about changing my business and becoming a coach or whatever, or hosting retreats. I literally just thought, if I could make one healthy change in my life, what would that one small change be? For me, that was eliminate soda. Then that led to eliminate sugar. Then that led to eliminate gluten. Then that led to eliminate animal products and dairy. And the list started growing and things started changing because I made one small change. So don't underestimate the power of the ripple effect when you change these habits. Okay, let's see. The next card that comes up is to perform a random act of kindness. This is going to, again, let's let this year be the energy of health is the first wealth. We got to get back to that. But then also, cards are flying. How can I take that energy, that vibrancy, that extra sparkle magic when we fill our cup, right? We have enough to give. That perform a random act of kindness is showing me that when we take care of ourselves, when we manage our energy, when we take responsibility for our well-being, all of that is going to contribute to an abundance and an overflow of energy that we then we need something to do with it. We either turn it into creative projects or we can share that love with someone else. And when I see perform a random act of kindness come up behind the nourish your body, it's showing me that as you fuel and pour into yourself, you'll have enough to pass that on. So if you're looking for more, if you're looking for more energy, more vitality, don't overlook the basics of your health, your fundamental health, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, and moving your ass. Like those things are going to set you up mentally and physically in a place to where you can become an open, vibrant channel to receive more energy. So perform a random act of kindness, go do something cool, go call a friend. What I did yesterday is I started reaching out to as many of my retreaters and coaching clients and people that I've worked with just to say, hey, thanks for being there. Thanks for cheering me on. I appreciate you. So maybe you start thinking about, are there friends you could appreciate? Are there strangers you want to show love to? It doesn't have, the random act of kindness doesn't have to be to a random stranger. That random act of kindness could be to you. You've been thinking about that like ring for a long time, or you want to sign up for that gym membership, or you want to make more time to read a book, but you've been calling your crazy sister every day and listening to her drama instead, like compromising your time. Think about that. You can perform a random act of kindness just for you. It could just be as simple of saying, it's like, hey, I need a little space. I'm going to do that random act of kindness for me because I would say yes, and I would go do that, or I would answer the phone. So do that random act of kindness as it arises, whether it's for you or for someone else. So for someone else, keep that energy flowing and going. Okay, last card for the new moon and Cap. Oh, this was the card that tried to fly out of the deck earlier. This is the trust your intuition. She's always right. Well, here's the sign. This year is really about getting clear. I told you, my biological dad who passed on was the first person where I actually trusted my intuition. Even though I thought it was crazy, I'm like, oh, he's dead. How could I have heard that? How am I having this conversation? It was because he was so close to me that was the first time I was like, well, I might be making this up, but it was so clear that how could I? So this is going to be the year where you have to tap back deeper into your intuition. And let's talk about AI. It's cool. It's fun. I've played with it. I'll probably continue to use it because dang, can it rewrite some paragraphs, man? And if you type in like in ChatGPT, like write this in the style of Brit Carmichael, yo, it puts unicorn emojis up. It knows, it's crazy. But with the rise in AI, you're going to want to start seeing more authenticity come through. So tapping into your intuition, trusting your creative vision and expression, and not doing what you think should be done on the algorithm or for the people or because of your parents or my partner says so. Like, oh, anytime a woman sat in my chair and was like, well, I don't know if my husband will like this hair choice. Like, are you kidding? Really? You're like, shouldn't your partner like love and support every choice you authentically make? Like, let's think about that one. So I digress. When I see trust your intuition, she's always right. It's showing me that this year is about getting serious and trusting yourself and going inward for answers instead of leaning on everybody who you don't even want their opinion. Start looking within and trusting yourself more. And it starts with little small acts. So as we do those small acts of kindness for ourselves, we learn to trust our intuition, because when our intuition says, maybe we should stay home instead of say yes to that thing that you normally would say yes to. When you stay home and you feel so much better, and then you get a phone call about all the drama that happened yesterday that you avoided because you trusted yourself and you stayed home, even though it was tempting because it was a normal, a normal habit, you'll start to see that when you listen to your body, again, we're nourishing it, we're treating it right. So it's going to communicate back to us. When we start treating our body right, we start to recognize that we have always had the answer. We just second guess, we doubt, and we dismiss the ideas and the intuitions that come up as like, well, was I just making that up? And if you think it was I just making that up, you can guarantee it was an intuitive insight. All right, there we go. This is what 2024 is going to be like this year. We've just got cards everywhere, which, hey, would be really nice because we ordered more cards overseas last November and they're still stuck at the ports. If we could get some sparkle magic on that movement, it would be great. My intuition is always right, regardless of what people say. Plus, I can feel what other people are feeling. So I know when they're holding something back, and I'm quiet and I just listen. Yes, that's it. That's empath. That's empathy. That's being able to tune in and see how are other people feeling. And when you're an empath, it's so important that you learn energetic protection and boundaries so that you don't soak up everyone's energy every time you step into the world. I mean, I can walk outside and feel like the people that just walk by here. I was like, oh, or I can smell them too with like a crazy perfume. So trusting our intuition, nourishing our body, and opening up to be more loving and kind, I think are the fundamental basics of us souls here on the planet and what we've gotten wrong and how we need to reverse that so that we can get back into that feminine flow of community, connection, synchronicity, and magic. If I'm being honest, like let's bring the magic back to life with more trust and more faith and confidence and more courageous acts of kindness and love. I think it would be the antidote to what we've been looking for the last few years. So trust that you have the power to make massive changes and shifts in your life. If you're someone who is navigating that transition of transformation and it feels uncomfortable and you'd like to lean on my 5-step framework to help you intuitively navigate, then I highly recommend you check out Shift this year. I told my team that Shift, although we launched it last year, I was like, I think Shift's making a comeback in 2024 already because we are navigating, we are changing. So if you struggle with change and you want to break that self-sabotaging cycle, then just DM me the word shift and I'll send you details on how you can get started in this 5-pillar process of being able to up level and really rebirth yourself into a more empowered, authentic version of you without the fears, the doubts, and the worries. This is reclaiming your confidence through the middle of the chaotic change. It is possible. All right. Any other thoughts, questions, ideas that have come up for today? I'm just checking in with everyone's comments. Hello. Are you still pumped from TEL yesterday? Yes, I was saying that earlier. Like the energy and the fire that came from the vision mapping masterclass, like, we are on a roll right now. We're even getting started and bringing back our YouTube channel. So you'll start to see a lot more videos from Chris and I, because we started thinking like, how do we get back to the basics? Like what was the most fun and effective? Like when we first got started, when we were so excited about sharing this message, and then we got like bombarded by like, you need to make 8-second reels and get all that wisdom into one frame. Yeah, right. I can't do that. Y'all are here. What are we? 21 and 57 seconds in. I don't know how to do short reels. So for a while, my creation process was like, I don't do that. I can't, that's not me. So I had to really sit with it instead of going with the like flow of culture. We really sat back and we're like, what is fun for us? What feels good? We love being on video. We love live. And that's where we're coming back to. So you'll see a lot more of us on YouTube in this coming year. How have you heard of spiritual salt? I struggle so much with change. Tell me more about spiritual salt. I recently had a woman that came to our goddess gatherings, which our next in-person goddess gathering will be at the end of February, the February full moon. So mark your calendar. We've got an events page coming up on my website soon that'll have everything. We are 99 days from our goddess retreat in Costa Rica. We're a little over 250 days from the Evolved Couples Retreat that we just secured in September. We are so excited. It took 2.5 years to find the perfect, like, hell yes, that's the right place to bring these couples for this sacred experience. So we haven't officially announced it. We do have the wait list open. So if you're interested in bringing your partner, because the Evolved Couples Retreat was born after I started hosting these women's healing retreats, the women would go back and their partners like, who are you? How are you so powerful? I want that. And so two of the gals actually went up to Chris at one of my retreats and said, can you please host a couples retreat with Brit so I can bring my partner? And we did it. We honored that. And it was the most epic thing. So we wanted to continue it. But I will tell you, here's like real CEO tip, trying to find 10 to 12 suite rooms that are like for just couples and not bunk rooms and still a luxurious house and space. Ooh, that was a little difficult. The goddess gatherings, we can knock it out. Y'all can deal with the bunk, but trying to get like 12 suite private rooms for couples because like, you know, it's like couples. You don't want to like bunk with some rando. I mean, maybe you do, but that's really not the type of retreat we're hosting. So I am just so excited about all these events that are coming up. I was just walking off my calendar, DC, LA, Austin next week for a photo shoot, conference in April before we head to Costa Rica. There's so many epic things that are going to be coming out, and I cannot wait to continue to share them. I've got some really epic announcements, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in live. Thank you for sharing these messages with your friends, with your soul sisters. Thank you for showing up, opening my emails, posting my quotes, and really commenting on anything that I put out there. It truly means the world to me. I love showing up to support you and share this spiritual wisdom that flows through me, and I just can't turn it off. So thank you for tuning in. I cannot wait to share more tips on how to uplevel your business and stay rooted in your spirituality in these upcoming episodes that will be dropping for YouTube. So be on the lookout for all the upcoming changes. We're in a process of transformation and really figuring out how do we simplify and get back to like, what do we really love? There's so many things, but as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, time is our number one currency. And when you restructure your idea of what success is, for me, it's time freedom. And I think that as I let go of the salon and a few of the other projects that we've worked on, it's really time to focus on coaching and hosting these retreats. So I look forward to serving you and coaching you in a much bigger and deeper way because we've got more focus and time and energy for it. So I am stoked. All right, let me see. I wish my husband, I want to call him. Okay. I love it. I know it's a lot going on. There is a lot going on with the relationship, but I know that this change will bring you the transformation that you've been asking for, but afraid to step into. So I wish you all the most epic new year. And if you need me as your one-on-one personal mentor, then book me for an hour coaching call. We can get started if you go to brittneycarmichael.com/tarot. That'll get you booked on my calendar for a 1-hour coaching call / tarot reading. We dive into the stars and the cards while also creating a practical plan on what are your next steps to elevate your business, your mindset, or your confidence. Oh, I'd love if you'd go to a retreat. You know, I was surprised. I was hesitant for the couples retreat. I'm like, guys, opening their heart, all of them, you think it'll happen? And pleasantly surprised that more guys cried than women, I think, which was pretty freaking cool. So I just am excited to bring you more of this magic, share more of the behind the scenes, and I look forward to catching you guys on the full moon later this month. We'll be doing some traveling next week, so I won't see you then. But be sure to check out the podcast and our YouTube channel as we'll be launching some more videos. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I cannot wait to share more magic with you in the new year. Until then, I'll catch you later. Peace.